Hello, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Marion County Especially. I'm your host, Steve Woodhouse, and joining me today is Jeremy Vos with Exit Factor. Welcome, Jeremy.
Thank you. Good morning.
So, tell me about Exit Factor.
Yeah, so Exit Factor was started just about 8 years ago by a couple that had a business brokerage. And what business brokers do is they help companies sell. And so Jessica and her husband were they're in a business brokerage, and they kept running into customers. They kept running into businesses who were eager to sell, ready to sell, but didn't have their business positioned in a way that the sale would actually be profitable for them and also profitable for the broker, right? And so what they decided to do was they decided to do something about that and create a company whose sole purpose it was to help business owners structure their businesses in such a way that it's a profitable exit when they eventually do decide to exit. So it's a program that actually works 10 years before you're ready to exit from your business, and so that was the whole basis of starting it. They ran it successfully for about 6 years, and then decided that it was going well enough that they could franchise it. And so they connected up with a franchising company that's based here in the U.S. in Palm Beach, Florida. And for the last couple of years, they have been offering Exit Factor franchises. And we're up to, I think I just saw 34 offices in the U.S. All around the U.S. and growing both here and in other parts of the world.
So, what makes you believe that this is an ideal business for here in Pella?
Yeah, that's a great question. So my wife and I have been business owners here in Pella and operating in the area for about 30 years, and so we've been through 4 different business exits, and as I got to understand this company and how it works, it really started to make sense to me that this program would have been incredibly beneficial to me, right, over the last 25, 30 years. And then I also, if you look at national press, if you look at the state of business in the U.S., it's being called the silver tsunami, right? I don't know if you've heard of that, but there's a wave of business owners that are reaching and passing retirement age, and because of the things that we just talked about a little bit ago, where businesses aren't well structured for exit, 87% of companies in the U.S. don't sell. So 87% of the small businesses that you see, they're not going to sell. They are going to close. Now, the shocking part about that is that we are also in one of the most striking growth phases of people wanting to buy businesses. So for every business on the market, there's 6 buyers. So there's this massive gap between businesses that are sellable and buyers. And so if we can close that gap just a little bit, we get more buyers into businesses, we get more people successfully transitioned out of their companies, and we don't have the empty storefronts downtown. We don't have family businesses that just stop after the second generation, right? And Pella is a town that is very, very unique and very unusual in the number of businesses, the number of family businesses, and so it's a great place to base this from, and encourage business ownership and really encourage success for businesses here and all over Central Iowa.
And see, that sounds like a great idea. It's shocking that this is a fairly young idea. So how did you hear of it? How did you get involved?
So I was through all of last year, through all of 2024, it was becoming more and more apparent that the role that I had was going to end. We didn't know exactly when, but it was, and I was working in a startup inside of the big German chemical company BASF. And it was looking likely that they were going to sell that startup. And so likely my position in there was going to change, if not be eliminated. And so Jody and I, my wife and I, were really thinking about and praying a lot about what the next thing should be. What should the next step be? And we were searching for the next thing that we wanted to do was likely be ownership, business ownership. So we wanted to go back to being in business for ourselves, and we wanted it to be a franchise or something that had the structure to it where. When I was 25, it was exciting to build something from the ground up, and now that I'm 51, it sounds like a lot of work and a lot of time, right? Because it takes time.
A lot of time.
And so a franchise or something like that had great structure to it that we could take and use our skills and just run with. Those were the criteria. And so we started looking for businesses and business ideas that fit. Oh, and another criteria was that it needed to be something that was that we could base in Pella,
right,
and that kept me in Iowa. For the past 10 years, I've been working in startups in the 3D printing world, which means that I've traveled all over North America, sometimes all over the world. And we both decided that we were tired of that and wanted to be more home-based. And so we had all these criteria in mind, and so we started looking. And in that search, we found this little franchise called Exit Factor, and started to do our due diligence and work through that. Got started talking with the owner of the company. Got started talking with the franchising group. And we really just landed on the fact that it was a good mix. So it was through a search. So this is that was the long answer to your short question. The short answer to your short question is that it was through a search that for ideas that fit a certain criteria.
Mm-hmm. So where can people find you? Do you have a storefront, or do people just email you, or
right? Yeah. So we do not have a storefront here in Pella. Oh, I do have a shared office space in the Des Moines area, so it's in downtown Des Moines. But the best way to get a hold of me is either by phone or text or email. And so we can put that, I'm sure, in the description on the video. But those are the best ways. Most of the time when I meet with a client, I will either come to their business, or we can meet at a coffee shop. We can meet at a different place, different office. I've got a lot of options for that. All around in Pella and in Des Moines as well. So we've got lots of options there. But yeah, best way to make a first contact is either by phone, text, or email.
So what do you hope to gain out of this? How do you exit out of Exit Factor? Once you're ready to move on.
Yeah. So that's interestingly enough, that's one of the things that they really, really push when you start working with Exit Factor and you start talking with them, right? They really encourage you to be realistic about your own exit plans. And so for me, for my wife Jody and I, the idea is to run this business for round numbers about 10 years, something like that. That's the plan right now. And over those 10 years, then the idea is to grow that company and grow its influence and its ability to help people all over central Iowa. We also plan to we'll probably add a couple of other territories. So I know there's some wonderful opportunity in northwest Iowa. There's some wonderful opportunity in the I-380 corridor. There might even be opportunities in places where we like to go on vacation. You never know, right? So we intend to grow it to a certain extent, and then in our early 60s, the idea is to have that business well positioned, and be able to sell it to hopefully a younger family that can pick that up and run with it, and that it can be their income and a blessing to them and their family.
And I forgot to say this at the opening. You're originally from Pella.
Yes.
You're from the area.
Yes. Yep.
Monty was telling me that you went to Christian school back in the day. And,
yep.
What made you want to stick around here in Pella?
So after college, when we first moved back, I mainly moved back because my dad was 75 years old, and it was like, we don't know how long how long that will be the case, and none of us knows how much time we have. But that was one of the main drivers for moving back to Pella after college, was that, and he lived to be 97. So we turns out we had some time. So many blessings. But what has kept us here has been, number one, probably proximity to family. Right, my parents were here. My wife's parents are here, and then as we started to have children, and you start to travel and visit other places, you realize what an incredible place Pella is, and then you also start to realize when you visit other places, especially for me, big cities, you realize how much freedom we have here, and how many good things we have, how many blessings we have here, and so all of those things combined have really kept us here. And now our children, our two older children who are out of the house, they both live in Des Moines, and we've got a grandchild, so that's going to keep us here as well. But yeah, that's the case.
So, you want to go ahead and give out your phone number and the website,
Yeah.
how we can get in touch with you?
Yep, absolutely. Yep. So Jeremy Vos, best way to reach me, I'll just put my cell number out here. That's fine. It's 641-629-9757, and the website is Exit Factor, all one word, EXITFACTOR, exitfactor.com. And from there you can reach out, and my email address is jeremy.vos@exitfactor.com. So all very easy.
All right.
Cool.
Anything more you wish to share with the group today?
Just thank you for the opportunity, Monty. Thanks for getting me in touch with this chance to put this out there. And I guess probably the only other thing I would say is that I'm always open to a conversation, right? If somebody has questions, if you have ideas, if you think, this would be great for my uncle or my dad or something like that, let's have coffee. Let's have a chat. Reach out. Let me know. I'm always open for any type of a conversation. It doesn't have to lead to don't feel like a conversation has to lead to an immediate consulting engagement or something like that. It's the basis of most or all good things it all starts with a conversation. So open to that anytime.
Absolutely. Well, thank you for joining me
Thank
today.
you.
Yeah. Thank you all for joining us.